Okay, starting off, I'm going to clean my face using a makeup wipe, and then I'm going to run and get some astringent and just use that to make sure everything's off my face. We really need a clean base for today's look. Getting my hair out of the way and taking off my jewelry, I'm going to take this white cream face paint. I just got this from the Halloween section at Walgreens. You can really use whatever. And I'm just going to apply a very thick layer of that using this Real Techniques Beauty Blender sponge. And I cannot stress to you how many layers of this you have to apply. And I'm just warming it up on my face and dabbing it on with my finger. This ended up being the best way to do it versus trying to just pick it up with the Beauty Blender like I would a regular foundation. So I just dotted it all around and blended it in. Dragging it down my neck as well, just to make sure everything's nice and blended. Taking this MAC finishing powder, I'm going to first put that on top. This is going to be the first powder I put on top, but as you can see, I'm going to go in with a lot more powder. Taking Jeffree Star's Velour Liquid Lipstick in Drug Lord, I'm going to use that as concealer today. Actually, I'm going to use that as a lot of things today, as you'll see. But I'm going to use it as concealer first and foremost. And I'm just going to put that everywhere I need to brighten up my face. Because what else are you going to use to brighten up white cream paint, you know? Blending it out with that same sponge. Then I'm just going to take that same sponge and put it in some translucent setting powder. This is HD powder from City Color. I'm just going to put this really thick, like all over my face. And I'm really going to pack it in there, as you can see. Then I'm going to take a big fluffy Morphe brush and I'm going to take that same powder and I'm going to build up that powder. Basically, when you're using face cream paint, like a grease-based paint, you really need to keep adding powder. So, taking this white shade from the Morphe 35C palette and I think this is a concealer brush from Bare Minerals. I don't know. I was just using a brush I didn't really, you know, all my brushes are dirty, let's be honest. Okay, so then I'm going to take my Sigma E40 and this purple shade from that palette and I'm going to put that on the outside of my crease, mostly focusing it, and then taking it inwards towards the inner corner of my eye. Building up that color. Then I'm going to take the darker purple shade and I'm going to concentrate that on the outer corner of my eye. And then I'm also going to focus it on the inner corner of my eye, leaving the lightest shades, like the lightest part, in the center of my eye. I'm basing this look off of the Johnny Depp version of the Mad Hatter. I'm sure you've already figured that out, but just saying. And then I'm going to take this shade from Morphe. It's called Ocean Frost. It's a single shadow, and I'm going to take that same E40 brush, and I'm going to buff that in my crease for a transition shade. I didn't really like how dark that was, so I take Metamorphasis from the Through the Looking Glass palette from Urban Decay, and I start working that in. I'll also drag these colors slightly down my nose. We're going to go in with a more severe nose contour later, but this is just what I start off with. Then taking Bandersnatch and darkening up the outer and the inner corners, just like I did on the other eye, repeating the steps, just with blue this time. Then going in with Heads Will Roll and, you know, adding that to deepen the crease as well. Then I'm going to take Cake on a Morphe fluffy brush, and this is smaller, like a more dense fluffy brush, and I'm going to buff that under my lower lash line on both eyes. Taking the red shade from that Morphe palette, I'm going to drag it underneath my eye. And also underneath the other eye. This is more the berry shade, not really the red shade. Then I take the red shade, and you're gonna take all the red shades mixed together pretty much and buff it underneath your lower left eye. Basically, this is the eye that has the blue, not the purple. You're going to drag this farther down than you did the pink on the other eye. Taking a little angled eye brush from Morphe, I'm going to use that to contour my nose. And the same magenta shades from that Morphe palette as well. Then taking those magenta shades, I'm going to contour my cheeks. And I'm going to give a severe contour. Like, I fish faced this entire time, and I really think it was necessary. And where I would normally stop my contour, I'm going to drag it down in a straight jawline, in more of a masculine jawline. Then I'm just going to contour my forehead a little more heavily than I would normally, since I'm going to be putting on a wig later. Taking the purple, I'm going to go underneath. I was basically using the pink shades to contour, and now I'm using this purple shade to bronze what you would call bronze. Taking that big Morphe fluffy brush that we used with the translucent setting powder, I'm going to buff away the edges a little bit, just making everything look more smooth and natural, like we could get natural, come on. Then I'm going to take Milani's Baked Blush in Tea Rose. Then I'm going to take my NYX Illuminator in shade Ritualistic and apply it to my cheekbones and everywhere I would normally highlight, because even though we're a hatter, we're definitely still highlighting, come on. Next I'm going to take this Elmers glue and I'm going to warm it up between my fingers. This is just the stick glue. You really just get a glob of this, warm it up in your fingers, and then cover your eyebrows in a really thick layer of it. This is just to block out your natural brows. After that, taking that translucent setting powder and your beauty sponge and setting your brows. Next, I'm going to take this little shader brush. I think this is actually a Forever 21 brush. I'm not really sure, but I didn't want to ruin a good brush, so I used this one. And I'm taking the orange shades from the Morphe palette, and I'm going to apply that as my brow shade, just basically covering up the brown. Then we're taking a Wet n Wild kohl eyeliner in white. It didn't really have a shade. It's white, guys, you know? And I'm going to line my waterline with that. I also do my top waterline, but as I've said before, that just looks really treacherous, and I'm not going to show that on camera. Curling my lashes, and then I'm going to take this e.l.f. mascara wand, and I'm going to dip it into Drug Lord by Jeffree Star, and I'm going to apply that to my lashes as mascara. I'm just going to keep applying that until I have really wispy white Jack Frost looking lashes. I also have a pair of falsies that I wasn't using, and I coated them in Drug Lord as well, and I'm just going to pop those on. Then I'm going to take this little Morphe angled liner brush, and I'm going to draw eyelashes using Drug Lord. Next, I'm going to take these eyebrows that actually came with the wig I bought from Walmart, and I'm going to chop them to shreds. And I'm going to apply eyelash glue and just apply these where I would apply natural lashes. Natural. And I did this in this way at first, just to show you where I was putting the glue, but actually I ended up putting a little pot of glue down and dipping the hairs in it. It made it a lot easier, and it went a lot faster that way. And you just keep building up the brows until they look as bushy and hatchery as you would like. This is a pretty time-consuming process, I'm not gonna lie to you guys. Then I'm going to take those same orange shadows on that same angled liner brush, and I'm going to cover up any places where they might need covering, you know. Then I'm going to take Jeffree Star's Velour Liquid Lipstick in shade Masochist, and I'm going to draw on my lip. And that completes this look. Thanks for watching, guys. I hope you liked it, and if you did, give this video a thumbs up. Please be sure to subscribe, and I'll see you in my next video.